All right. Louisiana's been in the spotlight lately.
We cannot live in this state, have a podcast, and not talk
about what the entire nation is talking about.
Yeah.
The Ten Commandments.
In exasperation.
11 by 14.
Yeah.
Could just be laminated 11 by 14, 10 Commandments on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Like, okay. But
what?
Why? No, not just why. Yeah, why?
Well, according to our fine governor in our state house, is that they keep saying it's a historical document.
I watched this woman rap.
Oh yeah. And
say that 17 times.
And
he was like, no, it's not.
And that they claim it's the foundation. It's one of the. They consider it a founding document of the United States. I mean, trust me, I have.
And these are the people who've read the Bible.
Yeah, apparently.
Fuck, man, I didn't know Moses was all about the United States.
Yeah. Who knew? I thought he was, I thought he was, an Israeli Egyptian or a Judean Egyptian.
Thank you.
That,
No.
Apparently,
America.
When he was up on the mountain,
it was draped in red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
It was the tablet and all.
Yeah.
And then the version that they chose?
Yeah. Which I've heard varying accounts.
Yeah, me too.
That one it's either like heavily Protestant, which I did find interesting in that you have in the United States one of the highest concentrations of Catholic residents, and you decide to choose a version of the Ten Commandments that's not either doesn't come out of the Torah or doesn't come out of the Catholic Bible, but you pick it out of some newer translation that is predominantly used by
Joseph Smith.
No, could be. Who knows? And then another one I've heard is that they used the Cecil B. DeMille promotion from the original Ten Commandments movie.
It was like that fucking trailer we saw at the movie. What did they call it? Disciples?
Yeah.
Fucking right. Michael Bay needs to make a movie about these people. What? Okay, so historical.
I don't know about. I don't know about any of that, but
neither do I. Allegedly, we'll just say that. Historical document, is that their loophole that they're hoping for? I just did the Donald Trump. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you put your elbows down on something.
Okay.
He does it and he's standing up, but so I do take issue with that because a historical document is something to where you can trace it back to like its original, one of its original versions.
Correct.
Right. Whereas
I haven't seen the tablet.
Right. Exactly. Is that if they were able to find that, it's probably stored in that warehouse where the Lost Ark is as well.
No, I'm sure the British have it. Don't they have everything else?
No, the French have it probably.
Oh, yes. And it's still
it's buried with Napoleon.
And the Ark of the Covenant.
But so when we say like historical document, we would say like the Declaration of Independence would
correct.
Be to where we may not have the original, but we have original copies that were made.
We have notarized versions.
And you have the notes of like Thomas Jefferson and stuff.
We have diaries and shit.
Exactly. You also have notes that were taken at the Continental Congress when they discussed these issues.
Right.
So on and so forth. Whereas
there was someone taking minutes for everything that they did.
Yeah. Whereas in this case, the historical document that they would be referring to is the Bible, and the Bible, by no historical agency, is considered a historical document.
No, it's a work of fiction.
Yeah, or it's.
I'm sorry.
Mythology. Something that is religion's base, but which is like is crazy because you have
which is what my point was going to make in just a little bit. But go ahead.
So, but I do take issue as a history teacher with that.
Well, I know. That's why I kept hearing that, I was like, what context is this history?
So
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, by that logic, we could come up with something that, whatever the laws that were issued by Zeus and the
it's a
Olympians,
historical document.
Right. Is that the Iliad and the Odyssey are now historical documents. Because they were.
That's my Bible.
It's a lot more fun.
Yes. So put those up on the wall.
Well, and that's
I want
what
the satanic churches.
Yeah. So that's sort of one of the
whatever the pillars of Hindu is, or all of them. We could go through 6,000.
Right. Yeah. You do the was it the 5 pillars or 6 pillars? But you also could put up the 12-fold path for Buddhism.
Yeah.
You put up, whatever the foundations of Zoroastrianism is.
I want it all.
I mean, tenets of Shinto.
I read some article somewhere, and it listed what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And he got up to like 15 or so, and there was like, oh yeah, and there's like thousands more.
Right. So, I mean, imagine, if somebody... That would be a way of going about it, but that was the funny part was, and I think it's the same woman that you were talking about when they were asked, like
what district she was in.
Definitely not ours, but
she was a white woman with a southern drawl.
It was probably Metairie. I hate to say that with that tone, but that's usually the ones that they pull and put on TV because they can be like
the psychopath that did after the State
it was the way like
Union.
Marsha Blackburn used to be like she'd be in front of like a background of Nashville, and it's like, but she was the Brentwood rep, like you're from the burbs, lady, like you're not from
She's
Maine.
From Kenner.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. Someone who I live in the New Orleans area. And therefore they get like city cred, or she's from like West Baton Rouge or something, but
right,
or from Bossier.
That's probably
not from Shreveport.
That's probably exactly where she's from.
Yeah,
she's definitely up there with Mike.
But apparently they wrote this whole bill, but they didn't put in any consequences. So in that interview, the CNN anchor was like, "So what happens if a teacher decides not to put this up?" It's like, well, there's no penalty. Like, okay, well then there's nothing.
Then why did you do this?
Yeah.
Somebody.
I mean, some teachers
people.
will put it up, but like if there's nothing holding, saying mandating.
You do this under penalty of that.
Then it's like, well, I'm just not going to put it up.
Right.
Or or it'll be somewhere in a corner.
It'll be behind that bookshelf. You see this bookshelf right here? It's there.
It's there. It's on the wall.
Yep, right behind it.
Now, again, if it's mandated with a consequence, then that's when I will roll out everything else.
Yeah.
And I also if
oh, wait, are you public now?
Yeah.
McDonough's public?
Yeah.
Whew.
So I'll have to bleep that out, thanks.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Nobody. Oh,
yeah, I know.
Nobody listens to this anyway. But but I also thought another interesting thing to put next to them is the biblical punishment for each of them.
Oh yeah.
So I think adultery was stoning, if I'm not mistaken.
No. What was...
stealing still back then carried the if you stole something you'd lose a hand.
Correct.
So I mean,
kill is stoning as well.
Yeah.
Adultery.
I think stoning's most of them.
Anything to do with thy neighbor's anything, you get stoned, and stealing, you got your hand cut off.
Yeah.
So basically, death.
Exactly. For this.
Was it Kepler who did that? He was like, "Oh, you can scratch that one off." Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Okay. You know what? Let's just forget about this.
Well, and you do look at it, and when they say that historical document bullshit, and they're like, it's not religious. The first 4 are all religious based. It's
false god,
right?
Lord's name in vain,
Sabbath, keep the day Sabbath.
What about my kids' soccer games?
Right, or
die.
I guess
you get stoned.
We don't get to play football on Sundays.
Nope, you get stoned to death.
Is that the next thing that the State House is going to call up Gail Benson and go, hey, by the way, the Saints can't play on Sunday?
Yep. Nope. You can't play on Saturday either because LSU does. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
You're relegated to Friday.
Oh, wait. No, you can't because that's when the high schools play.
Thank you. You can't do that. Thursday is JV.
Yeah. So yeah,
Monday's Monday night.
Saints have to play every Thursday night football or Monday night football.
No, I think they should just get relegated to Wednesday in the state of Louisiana. You got to play on Wednesdays.
And we get to be put on Fubo TV. Anyway, it's stupid, and it's like, and this cockassery of
and then
like.
He went, I look forward to getting sued.
So, yeah.
And does he really have? I feel like the Cajun accent has gotten He's like Mitch McConnell's.
Or he's like Les Miles.
Yes.
Or no,
Brian Kelly.
Kelly, yeah.
Like it's progressively getting more cartoonish.
Yeah.
I feel like that's him.
John Kennedy, like, what you saying to me?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Mitch. Listen to yourself 25 years ago. You did not sound like fucking.
No, because it's. Well, I mean, he's that's the crowd he's pandering to. So you're like, y'all know me, or hello,
and that's how he is. I think that press conference doing. You saw the kid faint.
Yeah.
And nobody helped the kid.
Nobody in that front row, no.
Or this side, it was like the person who caught her and the person next to him. Everybody else was just either didn't give a shit or was oblivious to the fact that a fucking child.
I know, maybe she violated one of the 10 Commandments and then therefore had to die.
Or she was rolling her eyes so heavy that she fainted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, but I mean, that's the dumb part of it is first is that you do it when all schools are on summer break.
Of course.
So, like, you can't. It would have been smart to do that once schools were back in session and go, okay, this has to go now, right?
No, now you've got 3 months.
Yeah, and then I mean, ACLU's already filed a suit on it.
Thank you. I was going to say who's filing suits.
Yeah, it's and the other dumbass part about it is that like there might be a point where maybe the federal government goes like, fine, you can have it, but you don't get any federal education dollars.
Okay, that was going to be my next thing. There's no way that this stands.
No,
I didn't think so.
Because I mean, you are talking these are publicly funded institutions.
Yep.
So, and by state and federal constitutional law, you cannot. I mean, there cannot be any leaning towards one religion or multiple religions.
You want the 10 Commandments? Go to a Catholic school.
Right. Or or Protestant school,
or Protestant, or Jesuit, any of them.
Or a private school, any private school that can dictate their own rules because they're not being federally funded.
Right.
But and that, like, Louisiana schools get a ton of fucking money from the federal government.
Even the charter schools?
Yeah.
Because, Louisiana, New Orleans schooling is completely...
Well, as I said, we're like Orleans Parish, yeah, because the charters just took over the public schools.
Right.
And that's why some of them have a lot of money is because they're able to get federal funding for various different
and they have
projects and grants
CEOs
and stuff like that.
CEOs and what's the human resources called?
So you have the human capital.
Yes.
Or you human capital acquisition.
Human capital say that again. That is a position within a charter school system.
Now, I mean, that's just that's in corporations everywhere. You have your director of human capital, which is we are the machinery.
We still call it human resources, but capital.
Well, no, I mean it's like they would run the human resources department, but in a business that, like, for instance, your business, which doesn't have like machinery, is that you are the machinery, so
Correct.
Therefore
That's
you
what
are
I'm saying.
capital.
I'm the capital.
Yeah.